I might be old and fragile, but I'm not going down without a fight. I don't have to be politically correct, just honest. The evidence speaks for itself. The elderly and their assets are fair game. In my case, the criminals that entered into a conspiracy in collusion and committed fraud and libel in the process are probate judge Matthew H. Green, his puppet, probate judge Jeffrey McNamara, and appointed administrator attorney Garen Camisar. They have stolen the liquid assets of my mom, Josephine's estate. She died in 2005, and now they also have stolen her house and vehicle. I, the beneficiary, have been evicted, even while there is an appeal in effect. The judge has illegally paid out large sums to attorneys. The administrator, attorney Garen Camisar, constantly harassed me and lied to the court. Two other guilty attorneys that stole assets from my mother's estate are Paul Garrity and Michael Bonanno. As far as I know, these two acted alone. They took deathbed testimony in a deposition from attorney James Matern, who drew up the will 12 years earlier, and he testified that the will was valid. That information, as the beneficiary, was withheld from me for years, while they looted the assets of the estate. I finally had to fire them for the excessive bills, and they denied me access to my files. After several attempts and numerous phone calls, they agreed to let me view the files at their office. The deposition by attorney James Matern was not present. They never informed me of that document or its contents. I learned of its evidence years later by another attorney who was able to obtain access to my files. The retaliation against me by the probate court began when I became the whistleblower about Judge Green's errors in the death of my sister Mary in 2009. Mary had been divorced for 12 years from her ex-husband, who had many police complaints and had threatened to shoot her and her young son with a gun he had stolen from the detective department at the police station. It was a silver-plated, pearl-handled gun, and he told Mary he could kill her and her son and it would not be traced. I turned it into the department when Mary found it searching the house. It and the report were covered up. Mary's ex-husband Frank took a friend of 40 years, a justice of the peace, Shirley Pope Alloway, to a nursing home where Mary was dying of a brain tumor and unable for the last 3 months to recognize close relatives, and he remarried her illegally. Someone placed an X on the marriage certificates, and they used her maiden name. Mary lived for 30 days, and 3 days after her death, her ex-husband went to the same probate judge and was appointed administrator of her and her estate. Mary is now buried next to the man she hated. Mary's will had been changed by an attorney, a close friend of Judge Green, who was known by the police to be heavily involved with use of drugs in the 1960s. This should also be investigated to see if he was used because of information known by Mary's ex-husband. Mary would have never willingly changed her will. There is too much corruption here to just let it slip by. If you think I am exaggerating, please read the book that exposes the corruption in the Connecticut courts, Law and Justice in Everyday Life by Andy Thibault. All the evidence to support my allegations is on the web, and any investigative agency can see the preponderance of facts. 4 attorneys were frightened away. One, Sally A. Roberts, fought hard and took on the court and judges and had to pay the ultimate price. I have great respect for her. She was afraid to oppose the new London court system and made a lot of lifelong enemies because of representing me. I apologize to her. 23 pages of handwritten, signed testimony mysteriously disappeared from Judge Green's office. 2 letters detailing Mary's terrifying ordeal were also ignored. This abuse and exploitation of the elderly is a disgrace and should not be tolerated. Who is going to stop it? If you rob with a gun or by the misuse of justice, what is the difference? A thief by any other name is still a thief. Please leave a comment. God bless you and thank you.